What's up, everybody? And welcome to today's 30-minute Kinstretch class brought to you by Stretch Effect. My name is Coach Luke, and I'll be taking you through today's hip internal rotation focus class. So when we look at healthy hip function, healthy shoulder function, you need to look at healthy internal rotation first, because that's kind of it is the prerequisite for all the other motions that occur, and then it's the first one to go within most people when they lose mobility at their ball and socket joints. So we're going to go right into it. We're going to look at our healthy version of CARs, whatever that it means for you. We're going to go into capsule CARs, which is just internal external rotation, and then we'll get right into some 90-90 work. So if you have a block, you can use it as a pillow, lay on your side. If you don't, you can just use your arm. If you have a block, you can use it, kind of rest your head. If you don't, you can just use your arm here. Out front for some upper body stability. You can hold there, or if you don't, you can just simply press your arms together, lock them in just like this. We're going to start with regular hip CARs, and then we're going to go into some capsule CARs. Okay, so I'm going to go up into flexion. I'm going to open up, make sure everything stays nice and tight. I'm going to rotate around, come back, foot drives back and through, and reverse. So I'm going to go back, over the top, make sure everything else stays nice and still. Upper body tension to match, make sure that everything else is glued to the floor. We're just going to do 2 hip CARs here. Come around, swing back through, and reverse. Now we're going into extension, over the top, all the way back around and through. So before we switch sides, just come straight back up, abduction, and we're just going to do our capsule CARs from here. So that's just internal rotation, so femur rotates in, foot rotates back, knee stays right here. External rotation, foot rotates forward, femur rotates out. Let's go 2 more there, each direction. Rotation in, rotation out. Even though my foot's going the opposite direction, and down, and let's just go up, open. From there, 3 capsule CARs. Imagine I got a skewer down my femur here, knee stays still, and I just internally rotate, so femur rotates in, externally rotate, femur rotates out. There, foot rotates back on the internal rotation. Foot rotates forward on the external rotation. Got 1 more there. Push into that boundary, right? So find where it gets tough. Push, fight for a little bit more. Feel that muscle turn on and light up. Over here, you really want to find the best position for you that allows you to get good internal rotation, and then it's comfortable so we don't have any pain or pinching in the knee, pain or pinching in the hip. If you have any pain or pinching here, you can always lean back a little bit. Close. This last one, let's go rotate open. We're going to hang out here as deep in the stretch as possible. You can lean back if you need to, if you're really mobile. You can grab your ankles, pull yourself up nice and high. We just want to get the most rotation of the pelvis on a fixed femur, right? So my femur is not actually moving, it's my pelvis that is moving, right? So if I'm doing my CARs, I'm moving a femur over a fixed pelvis, right? In this case, I'm moving pelvis over a fixed femur. Both are what we call relative motions, right? So we're just trying to, over time, improve that internal rotation so we can improve the function of all the other actions of the hip. We're talking about the prerequisite of healthy hips, healthy shoulders, is internal rotation, and it's usually the first one to go. I'd say about 90% of people. So the healthier our internal rotation is, the higher ceiling we have to improve everything else. Okay, this is where it all starts. Okay, so just like normal Pails and Rails, we're gonna hang out here for about 2 minutes. So we've been here for about 1 minute already. Explain our Pails Rails protocol, and then we'll go right into it. Okay, so from here, I'm gonna continue to lock in my upper body, right? So body stays tight while I continue to try to rotate my pelvis, open as much as I comfortably can. Should feel good. Stretch through here. Good stretch back here. From there, my Pails, I'm going to press my foot and ankle into the floor, so we don't start to start yet, I'll let you know. And then we're going to build that up for 10 seconds. Okay, so each second, we're just building up another 10%. So first second's 10%, second 20%, all the way up to 100%. And then we're going to hold that max out for 10 seconds. And then from there, my rails contraction is driving my knee down. I'm attempting to lift my foot up in the air while I stay open, right? So I don't want to come out of it like this, right? So I'm going to continue to, if anything, drive deeper into internal rotation while I crush this knee down and then attempt to lift the foot in the air. If you're truly at your end range, you shouldn't be able to get your foot off the ground. It's all about the intent, it's all about the action of the muscle as I'm at that end position, right? Strengthening at the end range, that's how we get stronger. That's how we improve our internal rotation, okay? So from here, let's take a breath in, solidify that torso, and then slowly start pressing foot and ankle into the floor. Start driving down, down. Each second, get a little bit more, We're at 50%, 60%, 70%, 80%. Make sure your upper body stays tight, 90, and max effort drive down for 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rails. Try to lift that foot, drive your knee into the floor, stay open as much as possible, crush that knee down, get light in that foot and that ankle. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. See if you can sink a little bit deeper. If you cramped up, you can always rotate open, rotate close a little bit. And then again, just on that open, stay there, stay open. If you cramp, that's okay. You're not dehydrated. That's just a sign of what we call neurological confusion. Your body's never been there before, or it's very uncomfortable being there because it rarely goes there. So it's a sign that your brain is kind of working to say, kind of hold up a little bit, right? Because it's not used to being there. That's not a bad thing. It just means you got to put more time in there, okay? So just continue to breathe. Continue to try to open up a little bit more. We're just going to breathe and recover, right? So whenever we're doing the passive stretch component, we want to take 4 or 5 count on the inhale. So big inhale, belly breath, so stomach expands out. 8 to 10 seconds on the exhale. Stomach collapses down, preferably into the nose, out through the nose. Continue to try to rotate open more. We're going to do one more round of that, and then we'll switch sides. Okay, so just comfortable. Open up as much as you can. Remember, upper body is there for support, for stability, right? So as this tension increases, right, as we go up from 10 to 20 to 50 to 100, right, upper body tension matches that as well, right? So from a 50% contraction back down, we want 50% tension with my upper body, and then match that as I increase. So not only increasing the tension driving down, we're also increasing the tension throughout the rest of the body to match that so we can get more out of that hip rotation, okay? So let's go open up, take a breath in, solidify that torso, and second set, start going foot and ankle into the floor, building that contraction up. We're at 2, 3, 4, you're at 40%, 5, 50%, 6, 60%, 7, 70%, 8, 80%, 9, 90%, and 100% effort drive down for 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and max effort, rails. Lift, 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 stay open, stay open, stay open, drive that knee, lift that foot, keep driving, keep driving, keep driving, keep driving, keep driving, drive that knee to the floor, open up, keep opening, keep trying to lift that foot for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Open up, you probably should give it a little bit more. And you can slowly rotate out of that if you want to do some more rotations from there. Get some life back into that hip. Feel like you got a little bit more rotation capacity than when you started. Very good. So from here, we're going to transition to the other side. So we're not just going to come up out of it and switch. We're going to do a nice, good, slow transition from this internally rotated position. Okay, so think nice and tall. I'm going to press this big toe into the floor. I'm going to lift this heel. From there, keeping my right knee down on the floor as much as I can, I'm going to lift, lift, lift nice and slow. I'm trying to drive those knees away from each other. I'm trying to rotate, rotate, rotate as much as I can. From there, close it back down. Let's go 3 reps, third rep. We will open up all the way to the other side. Okay, so 2, last 1 here. Rotate, open as much as possible. This knee drives away. This knee's still on the floor as much as I can. Once I can't get any more with this left leg, then I start to bring my back leg, and I'm just rotating all the way through. This is called bear sit. Continue to transfer. Now it's like my left knee is pulling my right knee. My knees are allergic to each other. They're driving away from each other as much as possible. From there, I will continue that rotation. Once I get my left knee to the floor, right arm comes over the top, and come down. Now I'm at 90-90 on the other side. I will just shift positions. And from there, I'm just going to rotate, open, right? Just like we did the other one, rotate, open, rotate, close. Rotate, open, rotate, closed. Last one, rotate, open, and breathe in this position. 4 to 5 count inhale, 8 to 10 count exhale, twice as long on the exhale as the inhale. Every time we exhale, see if you can rotate a little bit further, right? A millimeter further each exhale. The exhale is the relaxation phase of the breathing, right? So the more and slower I can relax, the more my body's gonna just give me in that rotation. It's not gonna be much. It's all about finding what's best for you. Again, find the position that if it's painful in the knee, kind of shift your body around, find where it's not gonna be painful, right? You can use blocks for support. You can kind of use blocks up here, you use blocks there. You want to rotate more this way. If you need to put this knee up on a block, you can do that as well. You can rotate from there. It's all about finding the position that's most comfortable for you, that allows you to relax as much as possible, get as much hip internal rotation as you can. Okay, so stay here for about another 30 seconds. Again, pelvis contraction, foot and ankle into the floor, building up for 10, max upper hold for 10, and then quickly switch to rails, trying to drive the knee down, trying to lift that foot, but not letting the body rotate out of that. Stay open as much as I can. Make sure that hip internal rotation is working. That's, again, the foot's not going to be able to lift off the ground if you're at your end range, but it's all about the intent, right? So you should feel this muscle right here, or group of muscles, lighten up, lift that foot, okay? So let's go 2 rounds, pelvis and rails. Take a breath in, raise that core, and then slowly start driving foot and ankle into the floor. We're at 10%, 20%. If you can open up more, 30%, 40%, 50%, 60, 70, 80, 90, max effort hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rails. Drive that knee down, try to lift that foot, keep your body open, keep trying to lift, keep trying to lift, keep trying to lift, make that hip cramp, drive that knee with the floor, stay open. Let's go for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. See if you can open up a little bit more. Again, just like the other side, if you need to work some rotations just to kind of get that cramp out of there, that's okay. Get some life back into it. And again, open up as much as you possibly can. Open, 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 open. Remember, rotating pelvis over a fixed femur. Lean back, find the position that works best for you. The left and right sides may be different. That's totally normal. Over time, work to just bring those sides a little bit closer together. And just continue to breathe, right? 4 to 5 count inhale, 8 to 10 count exhale. Every exhale, see if you can rotate a little bit more, right? Rotate from the pelvis, not just the spine, right? I want to rotate from the pelvis. See if I can open up more. If you need to use this hand to kind of guide it open and stay open, that's totally okay too. Again, it's all about finding the position that works best for you, that feels the best, that allows you to get the most out of these pelvis rails and the stretches. Okay, continue to breathe. Let's do a couple more breaths. Again, body tension matches the tension of that pelvis contraction or that rails contraction. The rails contraction, knees driving down, foot's rotating up. That's a 15-second, 100% max effort contraction. So that body tension from head to toe should all be 100% contraction as well. Should really match that, because the more I can irradiate, the more tension I can drive throughout the rest of my body, the more I can send down into the hip, drive the knee to the floor, trying to lift that foot, okay? So let's get one more set here. Open up, open up, open up as much as you possibly can. Take a breath in, raise that core, and then slowly start driving foot and ankle into the floor. We got second pelvis contraction here, driving down. We're at 2, 3, 4, 50%, 60%, 70%, 80%, 90%, 100% effort, and drive down and hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rails. Drive that knee down, stay open with that hip, try to lift that foot up in the air. Keep going, keep going, keep going as much as you can out of this one. We got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax a little bit deeper if you can. Hold there, take a breath, big belly breath. Super slow on the way out. Rotate open, rotate closed a little bit if you need to. We're going to transition to the other side. So we're going to do 3 of the hinges on the hip, and then our third one, we'll just continue open to the other side. Okay, so we're going to lean back, find that position. Big toe on my right foot presses down to the floor. I lift this heel, and I'm going to rotate around that big toe as much as I can. Left knee drives into the floor to keep those knees away from each other as much as possible. And come back down. Open up. And back down. We got one more here. And open as much as you can. Knees drive away from each other. Keep driving away. Once I can't get any more on that right hip, so take one more big breath. On the exhale, see if you can drive that knee more away. And now start to bring that left knee. Knees are allergic to each other. They're driving away from each other as much as possible. Open up those knees. Keep driving apart. Once I come to this bear sit position here, I'll continue to transfer over. Continue rotating. Once my right knee hits the floor, left arm comes up. And 90 on the other side. Okay? From here. So we just worked that right hip, right? So we're going to come onto your right side. We're going to get some left hip internal rotation lift off. So if you have a block, go and grab it. If you don't have a block, you can use a pillow, you can use a book, you can use something that just allows you to get a good squeeze. You can roll up a blanket, something that just allows you to squeeze those knees together from here. Okay, so we're going to lay on your side, just like we started our capsule cars, or in our hip cars. So you're going to lay on that arm. If you have another block, of course, you can use it as a pillow. From here, I'm going to have my knees about 45 degrees, and then they'll bend, my feet will be about 45 degrees back behind me, right? So I'm kind of in classic like clamshell position. If you've ever done that exercise before. Right from here, I'm gonna make sure this hand stays nice and tight, right? So you can go hand on the hip as well, just as a reminder that as I go up into this rotation, I'm not flexing from my spine, but the biggest thing we wanna do is make sure the ribs stay down and we keep some pressure in the abdomen, right? So if you wanna take a breath in and just like we did our pails and rails, you want it to stay nice and tight through here. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to squeeze my knees together. I'm going to try to lift as much as I can with that foot, crushing the block with my knees, right? So what I don't want to do is this and have loose tension in my knees and then roll forward here, right? So I want to get a really tight squeeze of my knees and then try to lift that foot as high as I can, but again, without moving from the rib cage here, right? So this hand can go not just on the hip, but on the rib cage, on this little soft area between your hip bone, your pelvis, and your rib cage. You got this kind of soft area here. We want to make sure that that stays tight. This stays locked in, ribs stay down, body's engaged. So now as I'm here, knees drive together. We're just going to lift and come back down. Squeeze together again, lift and back down. 15 reps here. Stay tight. Lift. Down. 3. Lift. Down. 4. Feel the side of your hip working here. Lift. Down. 5. Lift. 6. Lift. Down. 7. Lift. Down. 8. Again, it's even when the foot's going up. Internal rotation of the femur, right? The femur rotates in. 9. Lift. 10. We got 5 more there. Brace that core if you need to. Tension check. We got last 5 here. 1. 2. 3. Good. Squeeze that block tight. Last 2. 4. Brace and lift. 5, and we'll switch sides. These are capsule cars, best rings lift-offs, whatever you want to call them. They're really good for training the rotation of that hip that we just worked to expand with the Pills and Rails, right? So it's always good to follow up Pills and Rails with cars, with passenger liftoffs, with capsule cars, just to kind of help hit save on that document, if you will, just so we can use what we just worked on, right? We want to show the body that we have more range to train into so that we can work to improve that range and then get that range to stick a little bit, right? So again, 45-degree bend here at the femur and then 45-degree bend in the knees. So if you think knees are kind of facing like the front corner of my mat, feet are facing the back corner. Use that arm for stability. Take this top arm, you can press into the floor. That's good for total body stability there as well. What I like to do is just go here to remind me that as I lift, I'm not lifting with the rib cage or flexing the spine. I'm just staying nice and tight through my core and getting it all from hip internal rotation. Feet stack, knees stack, squeeze that block, relax the head. From here, I would just press my knees together, stay tight to that core, and lift back down. That's one, lift, back down, two, lift, back down, three. Remember, it's not just about lifting here, right? Every time I'm lifting, I want to lift as high into that range as I can, right? I almost want to try to make that hip cramp every time because I'm lifting into a range that's not inherently comfortable and you can never go there, right? So every time I lift, we'll call this 4, I'm driving so my foot kind of bouncing a little bit when I get to the top because that's a position that I'm not strong, right? So I'm squeezing the block, lift, 5. Every time, drive into that uncomfortable range, find your end, fight for more, 6. Good, squeeze the block, find your end, fight for more, 7. Lift, 8. Lift, push into it, 9. Find your end, push, 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 10. We got 5 more here. And lift. Good, 10. Lift. 11. We did an extra one there, that's okay. It's good, we need more reps anyway. Let's do 3 more, here we go. Brace, nice, stay nice and tight. Squeeze that block. Lift, push, 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 push. Good, 13. Brace and lift. 14, last one, stay tight, lift. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And back down. Very good. From here, we'll go into some capsule cars. So that was a version of sideline. We're just gonna lay on our backs now. So we're gonna do just the internal rotation focused ones. I'll kind of go from this side so you can kind of see where I'm going with this. So I'm here, I'm gonna lay on my back. I'm just gonna have my knee at 90 degrees. From there, I'm just gonna do the internal rotation one. So my femur is gonna rotate in, foot rotates out, and I come back to the center. Okay? So I'll just stay right here so you can see the position I'm going from. Back stays flat, arms are down on the floor. We're gonna go 10 reps, 90 degree bend on the right knee, 10 reps, 90 degree bend on the left knee, just the internal rotation. Again, whenever we're doing internal rotation, it's always about pushing into that boundary, right? It's easy to do this motion. It's hard to push where we're not comfortable, right? If you want to get more comfortable where we're uncomfortable, right? That's getting strength. That's getting control of the ranges that we did previously have, right? So we just expanded the rotation of the motion with Pills and Rails. Now we solidify that motion with the lift-offs in our cars, in our capsule cars, okay? So let's go back into supine position. Knees at 90. I'm just gonna rotate, keeping everything here still, and back in 1. Rotate, 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 2. Rotate, 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 3. Push that boundary, push, 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 4. Femur stays still, and rotate, 5. You need to hold it in place, that's okay, 6. Rotate, push, 7. Rotate, push, 8, last 2, 9, last one's get a 3-second hold here, rotate, 1, 2, 3, and back, and switch, and we'll go 10 on the left, internal rotation, squeeze, 1, internal rotation, squeeze, 2, internal rotation, squeeze, 3, push into that boundary, find your end, fight for more, 4. Use your arms for stability. Back stays flat. Other leg is straight. Push, 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 push. 5. 6. Last 4. Drive. 7. Drive. 8. Last 2. 9. Last 1 here. Rotate, 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 rotate. And relax. Very good. That is it for today's class. That's our internal rotation focused 30-minute chin stretch class. Again, thank you for joining me in today's class. That's internal rotation, so that's really the focus and that's really the intent and the requisite motion of overall hip function and of shoulder function, right? So we'll be doing a 30-minute internal rotation shoulder class as well. So again, thank you for joining me in today's class. Continue to work on those pails and rails. Continue to work on your cars, your capsule cars, those lift-offs that we did with the block between the knees. That is something that I encourage just about everyone to do on a daily basis. So you really can't overdo those because the stronger, more comfortable we can get in hip internal rotation, the stronger, more comfortable we'll get with all other hip motions, and then the better we'll perform in everything that we do in our daily life. So thank you for joining me in today's class, and I hope to see you at the next one.